Welcome back to Sports Talk with Dad. As always, my name is Kyle, and I cannot call this Sports Talk with Dad without the man sitting next to me. A man so old, he remembers vividly the last time a National League team won back-to-back World Series. My dad, Tim.
That would be the Big Red Machine of the Cincinnati Reds in 1975 and 76.
I don't think you realize this, but that was 50 years ago.
No. Yes, it was.
That was 50 years ago.
It was a long time ago,
and you do vividly remember it.
I do. I mean, they were great World Series.
You were a kid, right, when that happened, in all honesty?
In all honesty, so I really got into baseball in 69 with the Cubs.
Yeah.
And then...
in 69, you would have been what, 8 or 9?
9, 10.
Yeah.
9. And then of course, some of the best World Series that were ever played, because you had the back-to-back Oakland A's winning from 72 through 74. I refuse to talk about the Mets or the Orioles World Series. They don't exist. Those were great teams. Reggie Jackson was on the A's. Raleigh Fingers was on the A's. Sal Bando, Gene Tenace. And they wheeled TVs in to the classroom so we could watch it. Every kid was so engaged in baseball, and that's what isn't happening now. Baseball's lost not one, not two, but maybe even 3 generations of kids because of the things they've been doing.
Because how old were you when the Reds won? You still haven't answered that question.
76, I would have been 14, 15.
You were in high school.
Early in high school.
So in high school, they're wheeling in TVs in October.
Yep.
To watch the games.
Playoffs.
Which means you are fully engaged, because not only is it during the day when you're awake to watch it, but you're also not having to do schoolwork because the teachers want to watch the game.
Well, and they all did.
So it's a good memory.
Baseball was king during that time. And it was interesting because as soon as school was out, I had to go to work some of that time, but it was a race to either get to a radio to listen to what was going on or get home to watch the rest of the game.
Well, I mean, it does keep you engaged, though. Can you imagine, right? State of Wisconsin, the Brewers are in the NLCS. Can you imagine what it would have been like in classrooms had some of those games been played at noon?
And they should have, noon, 1 o'clock, whatever. Just start them earlier. There's no reason they can't do a couple games, especially you got to believe in your sport. Play a game on Saturday afternoon. Go head-to-head with college football.
I want you to repeat what you just said.
Believe in your game?
You got to believe in your sport.
Yes.
Baseball does not believe in itself right now. We have a commissioner that doesn't believe itself right now.
Well, and the reason this is all coming up, we've been talking about how to fix baseball for 4 years, including the fact that they've got to just break up the divisions, as long as they're playing softball in both leagues now, jumble them up. Let Boston and New York and the Mets or Phillies, whichever one you want to choose, be in one division. Go spend all the money. Same with the Dodgers and the Giants. But you've got to do something to get the kids back in. And I sent you a book.
You did.
Jane Levy.
Yes.
Book is called Make Me Commissioner.
It's a good book.
It's a very good book, but she's got some of the same ideas we do. We're going to have her on the show hopefully next week. She addresses the same type of thing. She said baseball has got to start just letting kids in for free to try to get them engaged again.
That was interesting. I know we're saving it because we are talking to her next week. It's a great concept. There are some questions I have about some things in the book that I'm excited to talk to her more about. Make sure you tune in next week's episode. We are going to be talking to Jane Levy about how she could be commissioner and the changes she would make.
We actually just need to have a vote. Should we be commissioner or should she be commissioner?
Well, that's not fair. People are going to vote for her. But we do have good ideas on what should happen. Interested on our ideas and what she thinks about those, but more in detail, we're going to talk about her ideas in the book. Get the book ahead of time. Read it. That way you can fully be engaged with what we're having to say. Jane Levy, Make Me Commissioner, next week's episode. Do not miss it. But we need to talk about, in my lifetime, what is, besides 2016, but I might be a little biased on that one.
You want to remind people what happened in 2016 in case they haven't watched the show before?
The oldest team in baseball, the Chicago Cubs, won the World Series.
For the first time in 108 years.
Greatest World Series of all time. But again, biased, this is the second greatest World Series I have ever seen in my lifetime.
I was engaged on almost every pitch.
I was too. These are two teams I really don't care about. I really don't. The Blue Jays I like because of my grandfather more than anything, and my grandmother. They took me to a World Series, or it took me to a spring training game. We're talking World Series. I think about that. I also got very sidetracked when mentioning my grandmother there for a second. She just passed away last week. So thinking of her brought a tear to my eye for a second. But her and my grandfather would take me to Blue Jays games.
Right.
So you need to pick up for a second.
And it was fun for you guys to go and see those games. The thing I liked about this World Series the most, though, the pitchers pitched. They had two managers that weren't afraid to let their pitchers go. If they got in a little bit of trouble, gave up a home run. If it would have been certain other managers that will remain nameless, pitcher would have been yanked. Okay, you named them. Pitcher would have been yanked out. Dave Roberts let them in there to work it out, and they did.
The World Series MVP,
Yakamoto,
pitched a complete game, won another game,
and then came back on short rest.
3 innings.
Yeah.
He pitched all 3 innings to end the World Series.
And you know what? That's exactly what they used to do when I was a kid and when you were real young, before all this Moneyball crap and taking pitchers out after 1 inning took over. Pitchers pitched, and that's what they did in this World Series. Now, there was a very, very, very long game. Actually, it was 2 games because it was 18 innings that went to 3 a.m.
Yeah, not 2 long games. They technically played 2 games because it went 18.
1. I think that affected the pitching staffs on both sides. Couldn't help but do that.
A lot. But the Dodgers won with the horses they had because these pitchers are pitchers. They go the distance.
Correct.
Snell went 7 or 8 innings twice. I mean, it was pitchers being, and then you had the kid from the Blue Jays, Yasevich or whatever his name is. I'm going to butcher it. He went the distance on a game and pitched as a rookie, lights out. Pitchers were the star of this series,
which you've been saying forever,
because pitchers are the star of baseball. The star of your game is the person that touches the ball the most. In baseball, that's the starting pitcher. We saw the true stars of baseball come out in this World Series, and it kept a lot of people, including myself, very, very engaged.
And it's something that baseball can build on. You know, we can talk later on about should they have had the home run derby in that 18-inning game.
Yeah.
I know you think it should. It was engaging. I didn't get much sleep that night.
I was in bed. I'm not going to lie. I went after 9. I was like, I don't know when this is ending. I'm going to bed.
But the thing that frustrated me, and I didn't realize this until the next day when I actually saw a wide-angle screen or shot of Toronto when...
Which game?
Game 7.
Okay.
They should have won that game.
Don't worry, guys. I got you. I know his train of thought.
My mind is going elsewhere. Isaiah Fit, and I'm going to butcher his name, Falafa, was at third base. All TV really showed was him just barely getting caught at the plate. Great play by Will Smith, the catcher for the Dodgers.
Force out. Got his foot down in time.
However, it was some of the worst base running of all time.
You showed me this video. You sent it to me, and I'm happy I pulled it up because you send me so many. Normally, I don't watch them, but that one I did.
So, Falefa, sorry if I'm butchering your name, but I think he's probably glad I am, barely took a lead off a third. The third base coach, Feebles, for Toronto, wasn't
struggling with names.
I am. Well, these are hard names. Wasn't talking to him. He should have been saying, get off.
Well, let's go back a second because I'm going to help the audience catch up to your train of thought here.
I'm there. The third baseman was playing way off the bag. Nobody was holding him on. Therefore, when you're not being held on, you should be walking down the line.
Okay. You didn't explain the first part, which is that he wasn't off of third base. It's an important thing you need to explain so people understand what you're talking about here. So the player, that name, I'm not trying. I watched you. I'm not going to have any more luck.
Isaiah Kiner, and it's spelled Falefa.
That.
Go on.
He was 2 steps off of third base.
Yeah, he was barely off.
The third baseman is not covering. I've never seen a player in my entire life where the third baseman isn't covering and you're not taking a 4 to 5 step lead minimum. Or more.
I mean, Carlos Peebles, the Toronto third base coach, should have been yelling at him going, go down the line. Go. He should have done it in between pitches, because if that happens, when the ball is hit,
he walks in.
He walks in and scores a winning run.
Because here's the thing. If he doesn't slide feet first and just run through the bag.
Or slides head first.
Which is another mistake by the runner, because he should have known it's a force out. If it's a force out, you never slide into the bag. You run through it. I don't care if it's head first. I don't care if it's feet first. I don't.
It's like at first base.
You don't ever slide.
You just
always run through it. Always run through the bag. It's faster. So he never should have been in a position where he was sliding at all.
No.
That's the runner not understanding the position he's in. 2, by the time the pitcher's throwing that ball and you see he's throwing that ball, you should have been halfway to home,
or
if not 3/4 of the way to home.
And then by the time it's hit to the second baseman who bobbled the ball,
probably halfway to home, because you don't know if he's going to hit it or not, but you have plenty of time to get back.
Correct.
But with the bobble and everything else, I mean, the bobble shouldn't even made a difference.
It's a contact play. As soon as the ball was hit, he should have been sprinting through, and he should have been at least 45 feet down that line.
He should have scored. The bobble, honestly, shouldn't have even made a difference.
No, it shouldn't have.
He should have scored way before that. That was terrible base running. The Blue Jays had several chances to win this World Series and didn't capitalize on any of them.
But the Dodgers,
a more experienced team, won this game
by making a really, really heads-up play to end the game, double play ball. It was one of the most exciting World Series I've seen. I mean, it's right up there with the 75, 76 Big Red Machine World Series. I mean, the games were exciting.
I was not alive for that.
I know you weren't. You weren't even thought of at that point.
I hope not.
No.
We were 14.
Yeah, no. God, no. Anyways, it was a great World Series. Baseball needs to embrace what happened and get more of it. Get the pitchers to start to pitch.
But here's
again.
the problem, though. We have this great World Series, and all anybody's going to be talking about is the fact that a lockout is coming.
Yes, and it doesn't have to. The owners need to get together, and this is all on them. The owners need to go to the players and go, you know what? We're going to address our part of this right up front. There will be a floor for salaries that each team, and I'm talking about the Pirates,
they're the big
Marlins.
One. They're another one.
You've got to spend, and I would make it $150 million, but $125 million is the bare minimum you have to spend on your team.
But what you also have to put in there, and this is something I don't think the owners are going to agree to, even outside of the salary floor, you have to put in a stipulation that says if there is a month left in the contract,
oh, God, yeah,
you can't cut players to get rid of bonuses.
That would be the Pirate rule.
That's the Pirate rule. You have, or the Comiskey rule. I mean, it's something that should have been taken care of back in 1919, because the only reason that the Chicago White Sox players threw that World Series is because of the owner.
Comiskey.
What was his first name? Frank
Comiskey. No, that's the basketball player.
The basketball player.
I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Comiskey.
Not even Kaminsky. It's Comiskey. But the owner of the White Sox literally had a player benched for the last 2 weeks of the game because he had a stipulation in his contract that said if you win 30 games, it's $10,000 bonus. He got to 29 and then was benched the last 2 weeks. The money that he took to throw the World Series, $10,000.
Exactly.
It was a spit it had nothing to do with baseball. It was a spit in the face to the owner himself.
And it's the same thing that's going on with Pittsburgh right now.
And why was it the World Series? Why did he wait to the World Series? Because that was the next thing. There was the team with the highest wins in the regular season went to the World Series.
There wasn't division playoffs or anything. And Pittsburgh's doing it now.
I had to throw that out there. That's explaining to the audience what you're talking about, just so you were aware of what that looks like. since you've been doing such a good job at it today.
I haven't been, actually. I've been excited about
So,
it.
okay, let's go back now. That's called sarcasm.
We're moving on.
Okay.
We're going to move on because I was thrilled with the World Series, upset with the base running. If that wasn't bad enough, then I had to watch the Packers on Sunday. Speaking of debacles and bad
I'm glad
coaching,
to see the world is finally on my side at this point. I'm glad to see you coming
I've been
to
on
my
your
side.
I've been on your side.
And the rest of the world, what I hate is all of these national and local broadcasters for the Green Bay Packers talking about how Matt LaFleur is the problem. He's a bad coach. It's like you can't jump on this now, guys. This has been a problem for a long time. You can't toot his horn for being a 7th seed in the playoffs, which again, you know what I heard the other day? Well, if the 7th seed didn't happen, wouldn't have been in the playoffs for 3 years in a row.
They haven't been.
I've been saying this forever.
They haven't been watching us. They should have, because they'd have their headlines.
Matt LaFleur is a bad coach. He is the problem. This is too talented of a roster. And the only reason anybody's talking about it now is because Micah Parsons is here.
Correct.
And you're seeing the Packers defense hold teams to below 20 points on a regular basis. The only team that scored more than that is the Dallas Cowboys.
And they shouldn't have. Look, there are a couple things going on.
And the Bengals, I think, scored more than that. But we won, so we got away with it.
Anyways, we're going to move
Defense
on.
is doing their job.
Defense is doing their
Being
job.
honest, it's called
Matt LaFleur.
journalistic integrity and making sure you have your facts right. That's all I was doing.
We are journalists in the loosest sense of the word. Anyways, but
Integrity means
Matt LaFleur has been micromanaging Jordan Love. See him second guessing on the field all the time.
Of course he
Making
is.
very bad throws. But what pushed everyone over the edge, 11 minutes left in the game, 4th and 8. From the, whatever it was about a 31-yard field goal, so they must have been on about the 11-yard line.
McManus is making kicks.
He's going to make that
I know, but
kick.
the week before he had missed a couple, but he's back.
He's back. He's comfortable. He'll be fine. When you're down by 7 at that point in the game, you take the points. I don't know in what universe, unless there's 40 seconds left in the game, you go for it on 4th and 8.
I don't know.
Plus, and on top of that, they were so confused they weren't even lined up right, and the Packers had to use a timeout. At that point, Jordan Love should have taken a penalty, backed him up, and forced McManus to be able to try a field goal. Because it was just LaFleur. I heard one announcer say it, and he again stole it from us because we've used the term. He's fragile.
Yeah.
He looks deer in the headlights. When the pressure comes on, like in that situation where it really calls for a decisive decision, that was an easy decision. You kick the field goal. LaFleur is like, well, what should we do?
I've been saying this since we started this show.
I've been agreeing with you since the start of this show. I've never been a Matt LaFleur fan, so don't try to say I was.
You defended him in the past. He has good games where things go right, and people say he's the greatest play caller in the world.
I've never said that.
I'm not saying you did, but I've heard it, saying he's a great play caller. He has never been a great play caller.
He's a vanilla.
Ever.
He's a vanilla play caller. He wants to run the ball. Instead, when you have the talent you have at wide receiver, Matthew Golden is non-existent.
You want to run the ball, and then you move around your offensive line in ridiculous ways. Part of that is Gutekunst being really dumb about what you can do with a center. You need an actual center. You don't move and even if you don't, this is where Matt LaFleur is at fault. You don't move your top guard
to
center.
No, Elton Jenkins is not a center.
No, he's a guard, and that's where we need him. He's an all-pro guard. Keep him at guard.
Correct.
Move somebody else to center.
Because
you have Joey Morgan, who clearly can't block his way out of a paper bag. Move him to center.
Well, and the problem showed up twice on Sunday when the Panthers were able to blitz right up the gut. Jenkins went to the left both times. It's a tendency. They knew he was going to do it. Love didn't have any time.
Because he's a left guard.
Yes, he did what his tendencies are. They've got to make the change. The Packers are now they're playing the Eagles this week. They played down to their competition against the Panthers. They'll play up against the Eagles.
I don't know if they do. I don't this time around. I really don't. I think this is the straw that's going to break the camel's back.
If it is,
you don't lose at home to a team that you're favored to beat by 2 touchdowns.
They didn't. The play calling was anemic. They weren't ready for that game. Defense did their job. They held them to 16 points. The offense and the play calling, again, 4th and 8 with 11 minutes left in the game. You take the points. You're within 4. Go down and score
and you're
a touchdown.
putting your quarterback in situations where he has to try and force something. He's literally forcing everything because the play calling is so terrible. You look at that Steelers game. I said it last week. We got lucky. There were balls that were thrown down the field that had no business being caught. One of them was a great move by Tucker Kraft, who's gone now. You don't have him anymore. And the other one was a really good throw where he gave his receiver a chance when Watson was back. That's how we won. That's what it was against the Steelers defense that is playing well below what they're being paid to do.
Look, the Packers are in a world of hurt right now. It all goes back to the coaching that they've got. Jordan Love is better than this. He's proven it on several occasions. But
you can't do anything when the play doesn't work. Carson Beck said this for Miami. I just run the play that's given to me.
Yeah.
And that's what Love's answer should be. I'm just running the play that was given to me.
Yes, because LaFleur is micromanaging, getting in his head instead of letting him play with a natural flow. They've got great wide receivers, but Golden has been non-existent. That's almost LaFleur going, you can draft whoever you want, but I'm not throwing the ball to him.
Well, and that's the crazy part, is you are designing plays for a 5th-round wide receiver. 6th round, I think. He might even be 7th round. I don't even know when he was drafted.
Who?
83. I don't remember his name right now. You ask me questions knowing I don't know the answer. This is because I made fun of you earlier today.
I thought you were talking about Dobbs.
Not Dobbs. No. The rookie receiver.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
about. And instead, those should be plays that are designed for Golden. Get him the ball.
He's your speedster. He's your playmaker. Why aren't they sending Golden and Watson on deep routes together?
You should be running deep posts for each of them. Pick one.
Right.
One of them's going to be open from that. They're both fast. There's creative plays that could be made with this team, but instead we have the worst play caller in the NFL.
And they have no identity. They don't know if they're a passing team, a running team. They should be a defensive team.
We're winning from talent alone. That's the only reason we're winning. We're winning because we are one of the, if the Packers have proven anything to me, we are one of the most talented teams, if not the most talented team in the NFL.
Yeah, and the youngest.
And we should be winning these games. We should be blowing teams out. We should be undefeated right now.
But instead, you've got a team that has way too many penalties, coaching. You have a team that's not running the right routes, coaching. And you've got a defense that's doing its job.
Defense is doing its job.
So
you hold somebody to 13 points, you've done your job in the NFL. Period.
16 points, even still.
They should have never been in a point to kick a game-winning field goal. Your defense is doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Your offense isn't playing their part, and it is the coach's fault for that is calling the plays, and that is Matt LaFleur. Attitude reflects leadership, to quote, remember the Titans. And the attitude of the Packers is, we don't know what to do now.
They're a terrible red zone offense as well.
0 for 4.
Yeah.
Until the end, when we finally got one, started the game 0 for 4. How do you not have a red zone offense?
With that talent?
But we don't.
No. I mean, you had Kraft before he got injured, and he's out for the year, unfortunately. But you still have Musgrave,
who's 6'7".
Why aren't you targeting them down in the red zone?
Go, turn around, throw it high. He's taller than anybody that's going to be covering him. Touchdown. It's a simple play. I've been saying that forever when we had
Bubba Franks.
No. Who was the guy we had that we only used for blocking for some reason?
Oh.
Anytime Rodgers threw him the ball, it was a touchdown.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
First round pick, Rodgers threw a touchdown to.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but he's 6'8".
Right.
Go. And he's giant. Go, turn around, throw him the ball. That's your red zone offense. That's all you got to do. It's not that difficult. We used to do that Bubba Franks all the time. Well, what are we going to do here? Bubba's going to run down, turn around. Favre's going to throw it as hard as he can, touchdown.
It's an awful situation.
Mercedes Lewis.
Well done. It's a terrible situation Green Bay's in right now. But there's another team that's in the same kind of situation. And that was last night when I watched Dallas play the Cardinals.
Same thing. No identity.
None at all. They're coaching. Look, Jerry Jones hired the wrong guy. He refuses to hire. And Schottenheimer has done a decent job.
Fine.
But Jerry Jones refuses to go and hire a coach who's really strong, like he did with Parcells, like he did with Jimmy Johnson. He wants his hand into it. He's 80 years old. His hand shouldn't be in anything other than holding on to his warm milk before he goes to bed at night. His son's got to be losing his mind because I think at this point, he should be running the team.
I don't think Schottenheimer's doing that bad of a job. I really don't.
He's not doing a bad job, but last night was pathetic.
I don't think it's as good of a team as people think it is.
Well, Jacoby Brissett is going to be the new Cardinals quarterback. He looked like a superstar. Kyler Murray is done at this point, I would think.
He is, and I want to talk about that in a second here, but I think the Cowboys have the opposite problem of what the Packers have, and that it's you don't have the talent to run the offense that you need to run.
Dak Prescott should sue for non-support.
I say that, but then again, you know what? Williams has been a star. George Pickens has been a star.
CeeDee
Lamb is a star. Dak Prescott's played great.
But they don't have
I changed my opinion.
They don't have a pounding running back like they've had in the past.
Well, they don't have an offensive line.
Correct.
I mean, that's the issue. I don't know what's going on with the Cowboys. They definitely should be better, but I don't think it's coaching. I really don't know what the answer is to what's going on.
I don't think they have the talent. I mean, you've got Ferguson on there for a tight end who's decent. They're just missing. They're missing pieces. The Packers should have blown them out, and they didn't. But let's talk about the Cardinals a little bit because you've been railing on Kyler Murray since the day he was drafted. Shouldn't have been there.
Too small.
Brissett last night looked really good. I mean, he won that game for him. I think Murray's done in Arizona. They've already announced that he's not starting again.
Right.
They're riding with Brissett.
Well, of course you are. I mean, you have Kyler Murray, who averaged 170 yards per game, threw 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Now you have Jacoby Brissett, and since he's been there, he's averaged 246 yards per game, has 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's more efficient. He's getting Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball. That was the weird thing with Kyler Murray is he wasn't throwing Harrison the ball.
Which it was so bad that Marvin Harrison Sr., Hall of Famer, was calling out the Cardinals going, what are you doing?
Right. Brissett has been getting him the ball. He has since he got in there. I know this because he's on my fantasy team, and I've seen the difference.
Well, last night he made one of the great moves of all time.
He is I mean, listen, I've been confused with the Cardinals for a long time. I'm an Ohio State fan. You guys see the banner. Anybody that watches this show knows I cheer for a championship team, unlike him who cheers for Wisconsin. I got to watch Marvin Harrison Jr. play at Ohio State.
Say his name. What are you talking about?
Because I saw you go like this, it threw me off.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
That guy. I saw him play at Ohio State and watching him with the Cardinals. It's like, what's happening? This shouldn't be the case at all. And that's really what it's been. He's been a decoy since he's come to Arizona. They're starting to use him as the top receiver as they should, and you're starting to see the difference.
You are, and I think he's got all the talent in the world. He's going to be a superstar. Yeah. I could see him easily being a Hall of Famer, just like his dad.
He's got the size. He's got the skill. It's just a matter, are they going to get them the ball? Brissett is not the answer at quarterback long term. They're going to have to find an answer in that category. I don't know if it's going to be in the draft. I don't know what it's going to be. Hopefully for Cardinals fans, not in the draft. They haven't been very successful with that. Once they figure that out, though, this Cardinal team is going to be a really good team.
So, and before we get too far into this, I do want to say to Jaden Daniels, I hope you're better soon. He had the most horrific injury, probably second only to Joe Theismann on a national TV game.
I had to leave the room.
Oh, his body went one way, his elbow went the other. Thank God it was his off hand. It was a left hand. He's a right-handed thrower. But that was it was hard to watch.
Year 2, high draft picks, Number 2 overall draft pick
There was
quarterbacks for Washington. You
that-
have Robert Griffin III, whose career was ended due to injury.
Well, they
And
brought him back too soon.
They did. And you have Jaden Daniels, who he's done for the year at least.
For the year, he's done. That was a fluke injury. He was sliding, his hand stuck, and it was, oh.
Why are you putting your hand down when you're being tackled like that?
Because it's the natural thing to do. He was just being himself at that point.
It's fair. That was rough, man.
So today was the draft deadline, or the trade deadline. This is not going into our vault of all-time great shows, talking-wise. Trade deadline was today. The big trade, of course, was Sauce Gardner going to the Colts for several first-round picks. Two first-round picks and a second, wasn't it?
No, two first-round picks and a wide receiver. Aloni Mitchell was part of that trade. And then the Jets also traded Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys for a first round and a second.
So the Jets, I think, actually were one of the winners today. They have reloaded on the draft picks.
I don't think so. You have a team that is a quarterback and a coach away.
Well,
these are all pro players. Did they? Because last time I checked, they have one win on the season.
They don't have the problem is they don't have a quarterback. Well, actually, it's another Ohio State quarterback playing like an Ohio State quarterback.
There it is.
It's not that good. He's never been. Justin Fields has been adequate.
This is the Jets going into a rebuilding mode again when they were loaded at talent and ready to win.
Were they loaded at talent? They brought all of Aaron Rodgers' friends in.
On the offensive side, they have work to do. On the defensive side of the ball, they were loaded with talent. Loaded. And again, you're deciding, hey, we're going to start over. I mean, for Jets fans, that's got to get frustrating time and time again because you finally have a team and then the Jets just traded away for draft picks, which are unknowns. You don't know what you're getting out of those draft picks.
If they're smart, they're going to package this to get a quarterback. Although I would not be going to get Arch Manning.
Well, he's not coming out this year.
He should stay in college.
Yeah, he's staying in college another year. It's the Jets being the Jets yet again. I can't imagine how Jets fans feel right now. I'm sure they're going to find ways to be excited about this.
I know how one young man feels who is a Jets fan. I hate my family for doing this to me.
I was born into this. I hate this team. It's time and time again. I don't know what is going to happen with the Jets. This was stupid, and I'm tired of people saying the Jets won this. No, you just traded talent.
They got rid of talent. Yeah, Sauce Gardner, do you think he's going to make a difference with the Colts and get them over the top?
Yes.
I do too.
A huge difference.
I think the Colts.
You have the number 1 team in the NFL that just got one of the best corners in the league. This is going to change the Colts' projection or trajectory on defense in the most amazing way possible. You just took a team that people were saying, could they actually make a run, to this is a team that's going to now make a run.
Yes, because they signed Gardner as well to a longer-term deal, didn't they?
He had the extension already.
Yeah.
They're going to have to pick up that. But this year, he's league minimum. Next year, he's only got a 9.5 salary cap hit.
He'll renegotiate.
The extension doesn't kick in until 2027.
I think the Colts will have to do something, especially if they get to the Super Bowl and because of him.
But again, what are you going to do those first-round picks? You have no clue if those are going to work out for you or not. You have no idea.
No,
it is a lottery. You win sometimes, you lose sometimes.
It's a 50-50 gamble in the first round.
And you just traded for an all-pro corner that's changing the dynamic of your team. The thing for the Colts is how much are you going to pay Daniel Jones. Speaking of not being the best show we've ever had.
We just got to laugh at it at this point, folks.
What are you going to sign Daniel Jones to? Because he's going to get a massive contract.
You've got to sign him. It's going to begin with a 6 because Dak Prescott has already set that bar.
Yeah.
And that's what quarterbacks are going to be getting from here on out. And Jones has earned it this year.
But first round picks, you don't know what you're getting out of those. What you do know is you're getting Sauce Gardner, one of the best corners in the league. Giving up a first-round pick for Williams from the Jets, from the Cowboys, that's a reach. And a second, that's for a guy that has not lived up to the potential that he should be.
That's Dallas.
I don't know if that's a smart move.
Well, that's Jerry making a deal that if I'm his son, I'm looking going, what are you doing?
I don't know.
All right. Let's talk about last week. real quickly and move on. Once again, I was 1-4. Do not trust my picks. Guaranteed to be wrong. You were 2-3.
Losing yet again.
It was a bad week. I'm still hovering right above 500. I'm 23-22. You're 20-25.
I'm in this.
You're it. Yeah.
I could still beat five games. Come on. That's
You can,
2 good weeks. I'm back in this.
and I better turn things around quick, or I'm just going to be what I normally am. I'm always going to remember 64-32.
As you should.
All right. This week has some great games,
Uh-huh.
and you haven't seen these yet because
No.
I just did it because you were gone for part of the day. Ravens at Vikings. Ravens look good this week.
Vikings look good this week.
Yeah.
Beating Detroit Lions. J.J. McCarthy's first game back, and he's looking.
Blah, 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 blah.
He looks good. He looked good last week. That being said, Lamar Jackson is back. The Ravens are back. The Ravens are going to be the team in purple that comes out victorious.
I had already written down my pick, which is the Ravens, because I think they're going to go to Minnesota, and the way this season has started, they need to make a lot of statement games.
Well, they're in win now mode
Yes.
throughout the rest of the season and the playoffs.
Yeah, they can't.
And I think this is a great situation for the Ravens to be in. They've always won games early. They've always been this team, and then comes the playoffs where it's win now mode. They don't know what to do. Well, now you need to keep winning. This is desperation mode.
Normally we say the season starts at Thanksgiving. For them, it started last week.
Yeah,
And they've got to win out.
they do.
All right, next game. Patriots at the Buccaneers. One I never thought I'd see on this picks for this season, but
Patriots, my favorite team specifically because they have a wide receiver named Booty that keeps scoring touchdowns, and my kids yell, "Booty scored!" My favorite thing in my house now. The Buccaneers starting to show some cracks in the windshield a little bit.
it's in Tampa.
I'm going Patriots on this one. I think the Patriots go in and beat the Buccaneers.
All right. Now, I'm not going away from the Buccaneers at home yet. I still have faith in Baker Mayfield. I think he fits the team. They'll turn it around. They'll win.
Drake
this
May's
one.
turning into a star.
And by the way, this will be your favorite game of the week. The Rams going to San Francisco
Why are we picking this game?
because it's a good game and it's a very
It's
important.
not a
game.
good game.
It's an important game in that division.
The Rams are going to destroy the 49ers in this game. It's not going to be a good game. And now that I picked them, they're going to lose.
You cannot take the Rams. You have to take the 49ers. That's why I took this game.
All right, I'm taking the 49ers.
All right, fine.
I'm happy to take the 49ers. I'm going to be cheering for the 49ers.
No, I'm going to be cheering for Devontae Adams and Matt Stafford and the Rams.
I
They
have
haven't let me
no
down.
interest in the Rams winning at all. The
This
Rams
is-
are going to win this one.
Do you want to take the Rams?
I want to take the Rams.
All right, then you got it. Unless,
If the Rams lose, then it's just
No.
par for the course
All right.
on me picking the Rams.
next game up is really interesting because Aaron Rodgers is in a time machine. He's looked really good. He's mobile again.
He had one bad game, and
Yeah.
it wasn't even a bad game against
No.
the Packers.
No, it wasn't. Steelers are going to L.A. to play the Chargers. Almost said San Diego. I didn't.
Steelers.
I am as well because could the Chargers win this game? Yes, they could.
I don't believe in Justin Herbert at all. I
I've
don't.
lost my faith in him, and I think Jim Harbaugh has kind of lost faith in him too. He stuck with him, but I think they're going to be looking at the end of the year.
You have to at this point. He's not the quarterback you thought he was. He's not Phillip Rivers.
He'll be the next Jets quarterback.
He could be the
He'll be
next
the
Jets quarterback.
Perfect quarterback for him. All right, in this game, I have no idea. Eagles at the Packers.
I don't pick against the Packers.
I know you don't.
I have no faith in the Packers. That's not true. I have all the faith in the Packers. I have no faith in Matt LaFleur. But I'm going to cheer for the Packers. I'm going to pick the Packers to win this game.
Well, as I said earlier, they play up to their competition. They also play down to their competition. I think they'll show up against the Eagles because I think Micah Parsons is quietly going to light a fire under that team. He's going to take Jordan Love aside and have a chat with him.
Jordan Love isn't the problem. He needs to take the head coach aside and have a chat with him.
I think he's going to look at Jordan Love and go, "This is your team. You make the calls on the field.
That's fair.
You call the plays." So I'm going to take the Packers as well, although I'm really nervous about it.
Well, you and I have had a great show, but as you all know, you cannot have a conversation with your dad without your father getting the last words. So it is all you.
For the first time in many, many, many years, I'm sorry that baseball is over. This was one of the best World Series I've seen in years, in decades. Kyle mentioned it earlier. First NL team to win back-to-back since the Big Red Machine. I know the Dodgers spent a ton of money, but they've got a great team and a great organization. Toronto showed that they can do it the other way. Baseball's got to come to a happy medium. You can't have somebody spending $700 million and another team spending $100 million. You've got to figure this out. It should be able to be done, and let's get it done before there's a lockout next year. I don't want to lose baseball again because it will kill the sport.
Thank you, as always, so much for watching. This has been Sports Talk with Dad. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.